Welcome to the Do This for Life podcast with OEV of Be Truly Faithful. I'm right here in your ear every Wednesday, encouraging ladies to do love, relationships, family, nation building, and good sex for life. Yes, this is where you get to do this for life, y'all. Woo! So let's go into today's broadcast. Okay, what's up, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast. So as you all may or may not know, I just recently celebrated 14 years of marriage. Yay me. Yes. And we're actually still celebrating, to be honest, because look, y'all, that's just how we roll. But we commemorated our 14th year of marriage with a family video and photo shoot that we did in April. And we also did 14 live podcasts each day on my Facebook page that led up to our anniversary date, which was May 6th. And of course, my husband and I both posted on our personal social media site on that day as well. For my post, though, I shared 14 things I've learned in the 14 years I've been married. And I actually sat down to write my post while we were all out to eat for our anniversary. And I just couldn't stop writing, y'all. And I knew right then it was going to be a book. I mean, all of that I was writing because by the time I made myself stop to actually post the 14 things I'd learned so far in my marriage, I had 36 things, y'all. I was like, yeah, this is a book. So I chose the 14 things of those 36 things I wanted to share. And then listen, by the time I was home and in bed, I had more. I wrote even more. And by the time I was getting ready to actually go to sleep, I was at 76 things I'd learned. And at this point in time of this podcast, I'm now over 112. And it's been 3 days since I first wrote the 36, y'all. Okay. So when I get started on something, it literally pours out of me. So I had to keep writing. It's like I just couldn't stop. So I'll keep y'all updated on the progress of the book. But today I want to share those 14 things I've learned on this podcast and share why those things have been so eye-opening for me and my marriage. So as I read from the list, please allow me to share my perspectives on some of those things from the list along the way. Okay, here we go. 14 things I've learned in the 14 years I've been married. 1, never destroy your own stuff when you mad at your mate. Your whole family loses because of your actions. Hashtag no brick throwing. That refers back to our brick story that my husband and I share often and have shared often in the past of hard times in our marriage. But at the time we were reconciling our marriage after we had been separated. And it just seemed like the counseling wasn't working, y'all. And he walked out on me again. And I got so upset that I threw the brick. Well, that brick ended up hitting our car instead of him because I threw the brick at him. And it's a long story. But anyway, it ended up hitting our car instead of him, and it hit the windshield of the car, which ruined it. It was no way for it to be repaired. We literally had to get an entirely new windshield installed, and it wasn't cheap. So our whole family suffered. All of us suffered. I mean, we can sit back, talk about it, laugh now, but it was not funny then. We had to drive around with that until we had the money to pay for the windshield, and insurance would have covered that. But who wants to call that into insurance, right? That's almost like a police report or something waiting to happen. So we had to come up with the money and get it fixed. So don't destroy your own stuff when you're mad at your mate. Don't do it. Don't destroy anything when you're mad at your mate. Just, cool off or whatever. I'll get into that another time. Destroying my own stuff cost my whole family. We lost in that situation simply because of my actions. Okay. 2, if you and your mate miss it in front of your children, make it right in front of your children. Hashtag be the example. That's period, point blank, y'all. Literally, like, if you miss it in front of your children, don't just sweep it under the rug and handle it in private. They never know that y'all made it right. Apologize. Let them know what's going on. I'm not saying you have to give them all the details of everything, but you need to let them know that, hey, we're good. We were not good at first, but we're good now. It also, doing this creates a safe haven for your children, that they know that their parents get into it at times. They miss it at times, but they're always going to work to make it right. Number 3, travel with and without your mate it enhances your marriage. One of the best things I've done in my marriage is to travel with my husband and of course with our children. I've traveled with my husband and children. I have traveled with my children without my husband. I have traveled without my husband and my children. And each of those events were amazing. I had a good time on all of them. There were some struggles, of course, along the way. And so what do they say? Absence of the heart grows fonder. And that caused that because I missed my husband when I was gone. I missed my children when I was gone. And I loved it when I was with my children and loved it when we were all together. So it enhanced our marriage because, you get to get away. You get to relax with and without your mate, your children. It's amazing. So I encourage others to do it. But this is definitely something I've learned in my marriage. 4, you will evolve. Embrace it, especially if you're both evolving. Evolving is like gradual change over time. And oftentimes that change is good. We're not the same people that we were when we were married, when we first wedded. So this is a good thing because you should be growing in your marriage. 5, you can heal your marriage the same way you can hurt it. Choice is yours. This was a big one that I realized in my marriage, that we can actually heal our own marriages. I'm not sure why everybody keeps saying things like, God can fix your marriage and counseling can fix your marriage. No, you actually can fix it by healing it. Because you're the one that hurt it. The power in you to heal is there. It's in you to heal. It's just like there are so many properties in our body that help us heal. That can heal our body if we just do certain things, right? Have water, eat good, exercise, rest. Well, you can do many of those same things in your marriage. So if you hurt your marriage by neglect or infidelity or whatever it is, you can also heal it. So the same way you hurt your marriage with words or actions, you can heal your marriage with what? Words or actions. Choice is yours. 6, sex can be just as important as the air you breathe. Don't downplay it no matter who else does. The modern day church has a tendency to downplay sex. People will say, well, no, you're sex crazed. This world is sex crazed. They're talking about the culture and this is always sex. Yeah, but we're talking about in your marriage, in your relationship. Sex can be just as important as the air you breathe, meaning it can be an important part of your marriage where it's so important that it's bonding you. Like the lack of it breaks that bond. Sex actually heals and things of that matter. That's another story. But what I'm saying is it can be just as important. One of you may see sex as very important, so don't downplay it for them. Work on together how y'all can have it more and have more satisfying or whatever it is. Just know it can be as important as the air you breathe. 7, respect is not only for men, but for women too. The levels may just differ. I'm just going to leave that right where it is and let y'all meditate on that one. 8, nothing truly prepares you for marriage. Most of us have been winging it for years, but with help, quote unquote, mentors. No lies detected is the hashtag on that one. And that's a big one too. And we actually did a live podcast on Nothing Truly Prepares You for Marriage. If you guys go to our build-a-nation.com site and get on our mailing list and sign up for our family gathering that we have coming up, then you'll find out how to get all of those live podcasts if you missed them. 9, marriage is for the mature, even though most of us enter into it immature. Hashtag truth. No matter what anyone says, majority of us, if not all of us, go into marriage immature. We're not really ready for marriage because it's really hard to prepare for something that's a lifelong journey. That's like preparing for life and you've just been born. Like, how do you prepare? You're like a baby in this thing. So that's why I said we've been winging it for years, but with help, mentors. And so that's why those who've been married for a long time can share marital wisdom with you on how they've gotten to where they are and how they're making it work still and how they will continue to make things work because they've been doing it for a long time. And that's why it's so important to learn from those who have been there and done that, went there and won that. Got to be careful who you're learning marital advice from and taking it from. Make sure it's people that's been in this thing for a minute. 10. There are differences between introverts and extroverts. Knowing those differences saves marriages and lives. Hashtag for real. No lie, y'all. With my husband and I, he's more of an introvert. I am more of an extrovert. And you need to know these differences, in my opinion. This is something I've learned in marriage, and it's actually saved marriage and life when it comes to my marriage for real, because I'm such an extreme extrovert. And I won't share too much on this, but I will say this. I'm the type of extrovert that if I don't get enough adult stimulation and if I don't get like have some spontaneity along the way, I literally can get depressed. That's how extroverted I am. I need that time of adult stimulation. I need that time of not just conversations, but getting out and about. And you know what? I have a son that's like that. There's been times he has cried himself to sleep when he gets bored. Extroverts do not like getting bored. Introverts, on the other hand, are a little bit different. They can truly be a party of one. They can, like my husband, he could read comic books to himself for hours where there's no one around. He likes quiet. Even though we have a noisy house, he likes quiet. And he is great with routine and structure, whereas routine can kill my spirits. I know, right? So we definitely balance each other out. But one of the biggest things in our marriage is by learning this, we've known where to give and to take, and we've known where, okay, you need to get out, or okay, you need quiet. I'll give you one thing my husband and I have done to bring this to life in our marriage. I will take the children and go and leave him home for hours to do whatever it is he wants to do. And oftentimes that is reading comics, writing comics, drawing, talking to his big bro on drawing and things like that. He loves that right inside his home. For me, what will he do? He may have the children or something while I get out and go. Because I can take my children with me. Sometimes I just want to get out and go and just go and do whatever. Sometimes I want to travel out of town to a friend's house or whatever. And we just hang out and go do something and go have fun, or that's traveling or whatever. And I definitely got to have my spontaneity. So that's something that we resolved that. Knowing those differences over the years has helped us to do certain things in our marriage to help us understand and respect our differences and not downplay them, these are a part of our personalities. Okay. So I'm an extrovert. So there's things I definitely got to have, and he's an introvert, and there's things he's definitely got to have. So anyway, 11, praying together is not the most important thing. Praying, period, is. And I know this one kind of touched some people like, wait, what do you mean praying together is not the most important thing? It's not the most important thing because you're not going to always be able to pray together. What if he doesn't want to pray? What if she doesn't want to pray? What if you're not around to pray together? What if you're so busy by the time they're home? Let's say you're gone. One of you's gone before the other one wakes up, and the other one sleep by the time you get in. Life happens, y'all. But just make sure that you're praying. You can pray for your mate. You can pray for yourself, and you can pray for others. There's no excuse to never not pray. So we shouldn't use that as an excuse. Well, we're not praying together. Okay, but are you praying? That's what I learned. Number 12. Some days it's easy to love your mate. Some days it takes work. And other days, it straight takes prayer and Netflix. I think that's self-explanatory. Number 13, if you can laugh at anything, you can make it through anything. #medicine. Laughter does work like a medicine. I am here to tell you, one of the live podcasts my husband and I did on our Build the Nation broadcast for the 14 lives that we did up until our wedding anniversary date was on laughter during the hard times. And I learned this. If you can laugh at anything, you can make it through anything. My husband and I can laugh at one another. We can laugh at our children. We can laugh with them. We can laugh with one another. We can laugh at and with others. And we have been through some extremely hard times. And if I can tell you one thing that's got us through many of those times was being able to laugh. It truly is medicine because it's been proven actually the more you laugh, it can actually help you physically and mentally and things like that. So, and this is definitely something I learned. 14, having money is always better than not having money. #get the bag. Okay. Get the bag. That is self-explanatory, but I'll just share. We have been through a lot when it comes to lack of money. And I have learned, y'all, having money is always better than not having it. I'd rather have money and not need it than to need money and not have it. I'm telling you, been there, done that, especially with 5 children. You never want to be in lack of finances. You never want to be in lack of resources. Never want to be in lack of money. Never, never, never. #get the bag. Okay. Get the bag. So I've shared those 14 things and I have a bonus for y'all. I have a bonus, and this will wrap up my list that I shared on my 14th year anniversary. And it's been an amazing ride, y'all, that we've made it to 14 years. So I want to end the podcast on this amazing note with a bonus. So I want y'all to pay close attention. Y'all listen? Y'all listening? So really. So those are the 14 things I've learned. Before I give y'all the bonus, I'll do a very quick recap. All right. You ready? 1, never destroy your own stuff when you're mad at your mate. Your whole family loses because of your actions. 2, if you and your mate miss it in front of your children, make it right in front of your children. 3, travel with and without your mate. It enhances your marriage. 4, you will evolve. Embrace it, especially if you're both evolving. 5, you can heal your marriage the same way you can hurt it. choice is yours. 6, sex can be just as important as the air you breathe. Don't downplay it, no matter who else does. 7, respect is not only for men, but for women too. The levels may just differ. 8, nothing, and I do mean nothing, truly prepares you for marriage. Most of us have been winging it for years, but with help, quote unquote, mentors. 9, marriage is for the mature, even though most of us enter into it immature. 10, there are differences between introverts and extroverts. Knowing these differences saves marriages and lives. 11, praying together is not the most important thing, y'all. Praying, period, is. 12, some days it's easy to love your mate. Other days it takes work. And some days it straight takes prayer and Netflix. 13, if you can laugh at anything, you can make it through anything. That's medicine right there, y'all. 14, having money is always, and I do mean always, better than not having money. And that bonus I was telling you about, here it is. Choosing a mate wisely is one of the best decisions I've ever made. Yes, choosing a mate wisely is one of the best decisions I've ever made, y'all. Why do I say that? Because I don't believe I would have learned these 14 things in the way that I did with anyone else. And I'm so glad that I chose the man that I did. Choosing a mate wisely is key, and it's one of the first step, is the first step in building a nation anyway. So, booyah! Yes, y'all, we did it again. Another podcast completed. Thank you so much for tuning in, and also thank you for sharing my podcast with others to help and bring more exposure to the many issues we have in relationships. And I pray and hope that this list of 14 things was helpful to you all. Thanks to Ben Sound for the music. And shout out again to my amazing hubby of 14 years, Pastor Antonio Vance, aka Pap. I love you, babe. Let's do this another 14, okay? Yes! Y'all, don't forget to go to build-a-nation.com to register for our upcoming family gathering. We'll be having it this summer. It will be on a Sunday, okay? And we will be addressing so much on a more personal level on relationships, marriage, sex, parenting, and all as it relates to building your nation. You need to go to build-a-nation.com, get on our mailing list, or go ahead and sign up and register for the webinar then. All right. It's also going to be live online as well as in person. It will be live online as well as personal right here where we are in Louisiana. So listen, I will be back here in your ear next Wednesday to make sure you tune in. Don't forget, build-a-nation.com. Get on our mailing list, download our free PDF checklist. Also register for our upcoming family webinar. I'll tell you what it's called soon. All right. Enjoy the rest of your week, fam. Much love.